Hello and welcome to a very special episode of First Geek 411. This is episode 178, our Twitch-aversary. Making sure everything works. My best man, Chris Nicolay. Chris, how you doing today?
Hello, and I don't know. I'm tired of chewing my air.
What?
That's all. Chewy air sucks.
Joining us, the person who will write the movie about this party, Emma. Emma, how you doing today?
You know it. One day.
One day.
I'll write the origin story movie.
Yes. Candyman 5, the birth of Candyman. I believe.
Y'all, it was really a joke. That's all it was. It was a joke.
It's canon now.
It's canon. Yep. And then the person who will write the blog post about this party, Shanine. How you doing?
Good, good.
This week we are talking Doctor Who, Neil Gaiman, Activision, and of course reflecting on our Twitch-aversary. Before we get into that, as always, listeners, you can find us on our social media as OneGeek411. You can check us out on our Discord as well. If you want to chat between shows, you can send us an email at geek411@gmail.com. You can check out our show notes on our website, onegeek411.com. You can also watch live Monday nights at 6:45 Mountain Time on twitch.tv/onegeek411 and be part of the post-show chats. You can also check out the videos over on our YouTube where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Speaking of subscribe, you can rate and subscribe wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. And you can also check out our Redbubble store. Before I get into our party, what have we been up to this past week? Emma, why don't you start us off?
Okay. I finished book club book this week. Pretty quick read.
I
Really
mean,
enjoyed it.
graphic
There'll be
novels.
thoughts later on. I mean, graphic novels. They're really a quick read. Unless you get the Sandman omnibus, which is 1,000 pages long.
Right.
In which case it goes rather slowly.
I think that
But,
counts as more than one graphic novel, though.
Yeah.
And it's in one.
It's all in one.
It's the Lord of the Rings killing the elephant thing. It just counts as one.
And yeah, there'll be more thoughts on that later on, because obviously this isn't book club. I, on Saturday, packed up all my stuff. If you can see, I am no longer where I was before. I am currently hiding out in my mother's house until next Wednesday when I start the adventure to LA.
Whoop.
Yay! And then I started watching a Netflix original called Virgin River. It's a romance drama type thing. I've been enjoying it because I have nothing better to do with my time. It's a very much like a whining girls' night in type show, where it's like, will they get together or won't they get together? Will they? Won't they? Will they? Won't they? Oh look! Now someone's house is on fire.
Oh, that escalated.
So it's that kind of thing. But I've been enjoying it. So that's been my week, aside from the chaos of work. So yeah.
Shanine, what about you?
Okay. We watched Luca
What'd you
this
think?
weekend. It was fine.
Feels accurate.
I don't know,
Here's
like-
what happened.
Theo Bruno.
Janine started watching more anime.
Yeah.
So now nothing quite amounts up to the hype she gets from anime now.
No, I could have watched this before anime and it still would have been fine. Like, it was cute and the Italianness was funny, but it wasn't anything I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So it was fine. We did finish watching the first season of Demon Slayer, so now I have to watch the movie.
I haven't watched the movie yet either, so
How many seasons of Demon Slayer are there?
one.
Oh, okay.
Currently one.
For some reason, I thought there was like 5 or 6.
One in a movie. No, it's a very new. anime. It's a 2019 anime, right?
Okay. I knew the movie had just come out, but I didn't realize it was like just after this one season.
Yeah. So I wasn't super duper into it in the beginning, but it really picked up towards the end. So it is a good anime and I recommend it. And also, so I've been talking about this solo writing RPG that I've been playing, English Eerie. I finished my first scenario last night and I might have spooked myself a little bit. And,
Go on.
there was ghosts and it got spooky. But it's super fun. I'm excited to play more scenarios with it. And also I tweeted about it and the creator retweeted it and followed me back. So
Yay.
Nailed it.
Notice me, senpai.
my new best
Oh,
friend.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is the overall premise? Because I was not aware that they were ghosts.
Everyone dies.
So it's like rural English horror. So
Okay.
the one I did was with ghosts. I don't know if they're all ghosts or just kind of like supernatural creatures and stuff. But yeah, ultimate spooks. It tells you to play it late at night by candlelight. So that's what I did.
Nice.
That was spooky.
You have your quill and ink ready and your parchment.
gosh,
Parchment
I
paper?
should
You
have
did it
used
wrong.
my quill.
Yeah. You gotta go all out next time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scenario 2. Quill by
And then stream
Quill
it. Like
by
so you have like it's
candlelight.
just
That would be fun. Yeah. I'm thinking about posting it for fun. It's very like I just wrote it as I was thinking of it, so it's super rough draft. I used the word suddenly twice in one sentence. So like it's not good and it's not edited, but it was fun. So I might post it just for fun.
Yeah.
we will
Just for the
record a
lulz.
full dramatization when the podcast is together.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many scenarios are there?
There's 5 in this one. There's a second edition that has 10, so I think I'm going to have to buy that one.
Are
But-
they the second edition? Is there like any overlap? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because I like just from you talking about this, I want to like get it and try it out for myself.
Yeah,
Just
well, I
'cause it
think you
sounds great.
can. I think you can get the first one for free, and the second one's only like $6. So
Do you have any like fancy old like actually like candle holders laying around? Or old lanterns?
Gosh.
I
Okay.
wish.
I
We
wanna
could
go
rent
all
a haunted mansion for the dramatization.
Yes.
Cameron, can you handle that?
No. I will nope out of there so fast. Like one creaky board, I'm like, see you.
Where'd Cameron go?
Bye.
Oh, he's probably about a mile away. He just took off sprinting.
Cameron should not read what I wrote.
Which also means Cameron, like, if it was a true scenario, Cameron's probably first to die.
Nobody died in this one.
What?
Many people were injured, and I may be haunted for the rest of my life, but nobody died.
Hey. But not dead.
Except like the ghost, but they died a long time ago, so I don't think
So
that counts.
that
They've
doesn't
been
count.
dead a while
doesn't count.
anyway.
The drive-through RPG page says the book contains 5 spine-chilling scenarios to inspire your tales of terror.
He saw the word spine chilling. Nope.
Yep, maximum spooks. Like, I believe you. Like, good description. That's good. I see if you post it because you are my friend, Shanine. I will read it during the daylight with the windows
With
open.
all the lights on.
Yes. I
He's
will
gonna
find extra
plaster his
lights
wall
to
with
turn on.
crosses. He's gonna have
Yeah.
silver everywhere.
Just surround yourself in salt.
An iron.
Yep, a circle
like,
of
fire
salt, a little bit of
poker.
everything. He's gonna be set.
Yeah, not my thing. Chris, what have you been up to?
Not a whole lot of fun this week. Well, some fun things, but nothing that's like on brand for us, I guess, necessarily as much. But I did start watching He-Man, the new Netflix series, and I'm liking it. Like awkwardly
You
liking
sound
it.
very confident.
It might be like humor wise, it's so cheesy. It's like the writing is almost like the original, which I'm not sure if that's what I want.
Yeah, is
But
it a
at the
bug
same
or a
time,
feature?
I'm also like, it's a good balance. It's good. It's it's fine. Some of the early episodes are like, whoa, okay. I think they should have given that a little more time to breathe, but all in all, pretty good. Really short. It's like 5 episodes to start us off. And yeah, it's following that art style of She-Ra a little more. And it's not bad. I enjoyed it. I'm excited to see what they do with it from here. I have been playing some Final Fantasy 14, but I'll talk about that a little more later. Although I haven't been able to stream, and I'm not sure I will be able to, but and then I've been attending some local events. So every Wednesday, Helena puts on a Live at 5, or as they're calling it this year, Revive at 5. Do not care for the name, but it was packed. It was one of the biggest Alive at 5 events that I can recall. They sold out of beer by 7, so it was going for 2 hours. It was kind of a disappointment. And then this weekend we had another kind of concert series at one of our local breweries, which was really cool. Although the headliner being a punk rock band was not what I expected for Helena.
Fair. I would have shown up though.
It was fine
Punk rock?
because I mean, like
That's me.
we had like the
that
first.
caters to my group.
You just can't dance to it, and it's like when you do a block party. Guess what you need? You need dancing. Sorry, Church of Christers.
Hey, you're not wrong.
And so it was a little weird, but we had the most popular like cover band in Helena that night too, which is called 10 Years Gone. One of the people I graduated with is in that, and they always draw a big crowd. So it was good. It was fun. It was hot, and the air was still chewy. But
You just need to get better air.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to get better air.
Turns out.
Like it cleared up like partway through the week, and you could so there's a mountain range that I use to gauge our air quality, and I haven't been able to see any of those mountains. Like I feel like I'm living in Kansas.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like it's been bad, but that's Montana, and fortunately we're not crazy on fires ourselves, but all the Idaho, Washington, Oregon fires are blowing our way.
Yep. We have some of it here
And
in
Canada.
Colorado too.
And Canada fires.
Yeah,
But
we were getting it from both sides, and it finally cleared up for us.
nice. Lucky. We're hoping soon. Hopefully soon. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do more coming up, but I'm pretty packed. Lots of work. All the work. Always work.
Always.
Always.
So for me, we started watching How I Met Your Mother again, and I'm excited. Rewatching it, it definitely starts off a lot slower than I remember.
Is that because you're binging it right now?
Yes. But like just in terms of some of like I feel like every time like I watch The Office, I'm impressed with how quickly they kind of get in the groove of The Office. Like, granted, like they had the British show to build off of, but like I'm always impressed with like how quickly they get into that groove. And then like I feel like when I go back and watch like Parks and Rec, How I Met Your Mother, it's like there's so much of the like, oh, this takes them a little bit to really get there. So like, especially just like in terms of the characters just all feeling kind of one note at the moment, and I forgot how long that lasts. I also didn't realize how much laugh track they used. And so it's one of those that I'm not a huge laugh track fan, but it is what it is. And then we went over to some friends and watched some of the Olympic qualifiers for gymnastics, and then also played some board games. So we played Happy Little Dinosaurs, which is, such a cute game. And I Went Extinct, which, is extremely inconvenient.
No, I don't know.
Don't know. And so one player won, but they didn't have any friends left. So at what cost? At what cost? And then I started playing Pokemon Unite, which we've talked about before on the show when it was announced, but it's the Pokemon MOBA. So think League of Legends, but with Pokemon characters. And it might be my favorite thing that they've done with a Pokemon IP in like decades. And by decades, I mean since the Detective Pikachu movie. But like, I'm so excited, and it's so much fun. And it's by no means the best game ever, but I'm just so happy to have a Pokemon game that's like different. And
it's not run around the world, capture,
right?
Beat gyms.
It actually makes sense that there's not a nonsensical plot and stuff like that. Like,
in terms
just
of
random
MOBAs, how is
team
it?
of people trying to destroy or go against the moral good of the world.
Yeah.
Is it the next esport? Is it going to replace League? No.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like for one of the long running things that we haven't said in a long time is that the Switch is a staple for esports. And I'm going to be honest. I kind of do think that we'll be seeing some Pokemon Unite tournaments. I think it is deep enough that we could see that. I don't necessarily think it's going to by any means surpass League or Dota, but
how big are teams for?
They're fives.
They're fives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Travis, we got a Pokemon Unite team,
and it is free to play.
And we know Travis plays a lot of League.
Yes.
So he'll jump in MOBA, right?
I will just drag everyone down and do terribly.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
You can't do that, Emma, because that's my job.
And y'all can't do that because that's Chris's job.
Yes.
We'll all do terribly together.
Best team ever.
Yes.
Y'all know I'm an open world one player.
I mean, since it just launched, if we get in there early enough, it won't matter,
That's true.
He makes good points. And so I'm hoping to play some with some friends coming up. I actually have not played with people that I know yet. I was hoping to play some over the weekend, and it just kind of didn't work out.
We all know that's the only way I play team games.
This is true. That's why I haven't played ranked yet. This is kind of getting into, I talked about before, but for a while around when I graduated, there was a Lord of the Rings MOBA called Battle for Middle Earth, not the most creative name. And I was really high ranked because I refused to play ranked solo. And so I just always would play with friends, and then we would do well because no one else in the game communicated.
Right.
It was because of how bad, because this was PS3, but because there was no party chat and how bad things were, it was just very difficult to communicate. And we just used TeamSpeak and actually talked. And it turned out it was a lot easier when you do that.
It's funny. That's a
you don't
big
have to
thing
take
in MOBAs.
15, 20 seconds to type something in.
Exactly.
By the time you send it, you're already dead.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing more. Trying to figure out what characters I like. Still not quite there. There's no Tyranitar, so I can't force Tyranitar in every match
yet.
And so, but we'll see. It's a very odd assortment of Pokemon. This is gonna be a conversation for post-show chat, but I'm very confused by what Pokemon they chose to be in the game. And so I don't know if it's that haven't kept up with what the kids like, or what, but it feels very disjointed. And so, but yeah, like I said, we can get into that later. And so let's go ahead and get into our news and discussion topics for this week. Emma, I hear your story is bigger on the inside.
My story is bigger on the inside because I'm the one who brings the Doctor Who news, typically, unless Janine gets to it first. But in this case, I got to it first because Janine put down Neil Gaiman stuff. Which is
like,
fair.
I stole the
Like-
Gaiman first.
I was just like, I'm gonna put down the Doctor Who stuff because that's still up. But earlier this week, we got the first teaser trailer for season 13, which is exciting. It was maybe 40 seconds of new content in a teaser trailer format. It looks to be pretty decent. So far, fingers crossed.
It's about my assessment of all of Doctor Who.
Well, from my assessment of the teaser trailer, it won't be as disappointing a season as some past seasons have been for me. I'm looking at the entirety of the Clara season because I did not like Clara. Sorry, Shanine. Personal opinion. Anyway.
I would also like an apology.
I was just not a Clara person. Anyway, moving on. We're supposed to get all of season 13. Well, not all at once, but like it's supposed to come out later this year. Supposedly / rumored to be in the fall. And it won't be broken into 2 parts like some past seasons have been. Like we'll just get the whole season week to week, and then like they won't do like a mid-season finale or anything. And on top of that, there weren't really any announcements as to whether this will be Jodie Whittaker's last season or not. And I mentioned that because it would go along with the 3-season trend for the actor in that role. Aside from the only outlier in New Who is Christopher Eccleston, as the 9th Doctor, but every other actor has had 3 seasons and since the reboot. So we don't know if she'll stick around for a 4th season or not. In the past, sometimes we've gotten it ahead of the season. Sometimes we just haven't gotten it at all until the last episode of the season. So it's like a little up into the air as we don't know if this is her last season or not. But there have been grumblings on the interwebs that she's considered it, just because that's like the tradition now. But she could break the mold and revert to classic Who trends of just sticking around however long she feels like it. So
Can't make me leave.
you can't make me leave. I'm here now. So that's that. The link to the teaser will be in the show notes, or you can just go Google it yourself. But stick around and finish the episode first before you do that.
So I'll say, watching this, having not seen any of Jodie's run of the Doctor, I was like, this is a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those of like,
There's
I don't
very
want to-
little information.
Yes, it's just like this doesn't need tease things.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it does give me some hope for this season. So yeah.
Yeah. The main thing that stuck out to me from the teaser was that there was no Ryan.
Well, yeah. For context, we have lost 2 of our companions and gained a new one. So, spoilers.
If it isn't Jodie, I mean, if it is Jodie's final season, who would you like to be the next Doctor?
I mean, there's a lot of ways this could go. A lot of us American viewers have wanted an American actor, but that's not going to happen.
I feel like it'd be like we'd have a Canadian actor before we had an American one.
Yeah.
Janine.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I mean, given that Jodie Whittaker was a bit of a surprise, I wouldn't be surprised if they went sort of out of the box again.
Like with a
But-
POC?
Hopefully,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
there is. Oh, jeez. There is a British actor who's a POC, who there have been some rumors about. I don't know who they are. Like, I've never seen them in any other works. Like, I haven't seen any of their other stuff. But he ended up being teased in this teaser trailer as a different character. So, I mean, Tom Holland would be kind of fun, not gonna lie. But he's got bigger
With his
fish to
American
fry.
accent. There you go.
Yeah. Yes, have Tom
No.
Holland play an American doctor. Yeah.
Just to slap all the American fans in the face. And like, nope, still not giving you an American doctor. She's going to
Yeah.
have an American accent.
So, yeah.
We still need to catch up. We have not watched any in a very long time.
I mean, also, like, on that vein of, like, who would I want to see? Jodie Whittaker was the first regeneration where I'd seen the actor in something before Doctor Who. Because every other actor, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, I had not seen in other stuff before Doctor Who. But then I had watched Broadchurch with David Tennant and Jodie Whittaker. And then, so I knew I had seen some other Jodie Whittaker stuff before she took on the role. So, like, I was like, I love this person. She's fantastic. So, like, for me, it's just up in the air of, like, you know what? Like, I don't care. Whoever you want to give me.
I feel like it's one of the things with a fandom, just like, and I've said this before with Doctor Who. It's so interesting that it is a show where like they so prevalently put who the writer is for the specific episodes. Like it's so like in your face, and I feel like the general vibe from the fandom is let's just get good writers in. I just
Yeah.
feel like that's
Yeah.
been kind of the struggle of like do
We
whatever
really
you
do
want.
care more about the writers
Yeah.
than, like, the actors. Because it's like, the actors are going to do their job. The writers are going to do their job, but, like, there's a lot of things that I can get past in the writer's room that just do not work.
Mhm.
So,
Janine, you teased yours earlier. What do you got for us?
Okay. So, Neil Gaiman announced another Prime series for one of his books for Anansi Boys, which I haven't read yet, but now I'm going to have to.
I've got to say, I've never heard of
Yeah.
Anansi Boys.
Put it on the book club list.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is literally, I'd like to think that I've heard of, like, American Gods. Haven't read it, but I know it exists. Like, a lot of the Neil Gaiman stuff I feel like I've heard of, but I have never heard of Anansi Boys.
Yeah, I've heard of it. He had, I think, one of his short stories in one of the collections I read of his was connected with Anansi Boys, and also there's a character in American Gods that is also in Anansi Boys.
Right, yeah. That is like,
So-
this one's tied to the... That's what I was thinking. Is this one's supposed to be closely tied to the American God series.
Yeah, I don't think this TV series is going. It sounded like it wasn't going to be connected to the TV series of American Gods in any way.
Well, that's
They're going to be really separate, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't even know what it's about. I just know that it's Neil Gaiman and I'm excited.
Apparently the main character's name is Fat Charlie. That's all. That's what I'm getting off Wikipedia.
Nice.
So I feel like Neil Gaiman has kind of just gone from the like known in like small circles to like almost like household name within like the past couple of years. I say
Yeah.
as someone who didn't
Well,
know
a
much
lot of
about
his-
him, but
Yeah. A lot of his stuff, it's partially because a lot of his stuff has gotten picked up by Amazon Prime and others
Yep.
to be turned into TV shows.
I think a big part of it was because of his kind of close relationship to Pratchett.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like after Good Omens and
Yep.
and everything, kind of he's kind of entering like that mainstream
Mm-hmm.
era because like he's just on screen a lot more. It's like a lot more screen titles.
Well, and he's also like written scripts for shows as well. Like he's written for Doctor Who in the past too, several episodes. So like that has helped.
and I feel like he's a very prolific writer. And again, it's
Yeah.
just one of those that I feel like wasn't that well known, and then all of a sudden is like, here's his 4th series that he's getting, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're all like air quotes older works, like relatively speaking. And so
Well, and they're all like all of the ones that are getting series TV shows are like the most beloved of his works. Like Good Omens is on my top 5 books, and I'm reading The Sandman right now, which has been around for 30 plus years, and that's like fantastic. Like all of the older stuff is just a fan favorite.
So, speaking of it being older books, that's kind of what I'm curious about. When we see a lot of like film and TV adaptations, it's either like the super old classics or like very recent hits. So, it's kind of interesting to see like some of those like not like old books, but older ones be getting series. So, what are some older, maybe lesser known books that you would like to see TV series of?
I mean, the one that comes out for me, which is another one of my favorite books, is The Name of the Wind, which there are rumors that there's a TV show in the works, but those have been floating around for a couple of years now. And that's just a fun series or fun book that would make a good TV show. So
one for me is The Black Company, which is a fantasy series by Glenn Cook. I haven't read all of them. I probably read the first like 2 or 3, but like it's a pretty long series, and it follows like a group of mercenaries, but it's very like high magic. I don't know the right term. It's a very like strong magic system. I don't know the exact term for that, but like you have like wizards that can like lay waste to like whole battlefields, stuff like that. And it's about this group of mercenaries as they try to like be aware that they're not necessarily on the good side and they're just trying to like make ends meet kind of thing. So it kind of has that like I think it would make a good series in that sense of like it's kind of dark fantasy. It also has like the anti-hero kind of thing. Like you can give some of them a heart of gold. Like it has the premise for characters coming in and out as they join the band of mercenaries and stuff like that. And so I really enjoyed it. I think I have some of the books that I haven't finished. Like when I saw this question, I was looking for them. I'm like, oh yeah, I should read those.
I actually also just thought of a kind of a reverse answer of The Wheel of Time, which I have talked about many a time. Great series. The first season is coming out Amazon Prime in November, and I am so excited for it. So that's like a reverse of like something that's already being made of an older series. Of like I am excited for this to come out because like no one knows about it. unless you're like super deep into that world. But like, yeah, I can't wait for November.
I have no idea. Maybe like I think it'd be interesting to see like another Tolkien work, but not Middle Earth. So maybe like Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. One that kind of has already, but not really. Well, never mind. That's a lie. It was completely. I forgot there was a series. But I was thinking like Earthsea, but never mind. I watched that series. The animated movie is so much better. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. I have when it comes to books, I don't actually have like an idea of publication time frame unless it came out within my lifetime.
I think for me, I've been reading the Sword of Truth series, which actually did get a TV series, which I've heard is the worst thing to ever exist.
So I was actually going to mention the Sword of Truth after we did our first rounds because of that. Yes.
And I think it would make a good TV show if they
Did it right?
right.
Yeah. So Sword of Truth is one of my friend's favorite like book series, and I've read the first 2 of them. Apparently that's the trend, is I read the first 2 in a series, and I really enjoyed it. And then I started watching the TV series again, not as like a huge fan, but as someone that had enjoyed the books, and I was just like, oh, this is a show. Yep. Okay.
This is the thing that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband loved the books and watched the show and was very devastated by it. And one night he was just showing me just a bunch of like pictures and stuff. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. It was not great.
Yeah.
Oh, they did
That
this so
was
bad.
the first time I ever had a book adaptation disappoint me, like devastate me, was the Percy Jackson movies. Because I was very much a Percy Jackson kid, and then they just destroyed it in the movies. And I remember walking out at the end of it just devastated that like they did not do it justice. So I stick to my guns to this day that those movies are not good and they do not exist.
Another one that I'd really like to see. So there's the Shadowhunter series, but in the books there's a prequel series that takes place during Victorian era, and that's right up my alley. So
What was that again?
Shadowhunters. There's like a few different series that this author has written that are all in like the same universe, and there is a Netflix show for the main series, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I really enjoyed the prequel series even more than that one, and I think it'd make a good show.
I'm going to look into that after the podcast. Also, I misspelled shadow. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know why I'm saying this, because I could have just not, but here we are.
It's like, yeah, you definitely didn't have to notify us of that. Because now I'm also curious as how you spelled it.
I typed showdown because I was reading the Sword of Truth page and it said showdown. And so that was why I had to ask Shanine to re-say the name, because I was like, wait.
He's going to be really confused when he goes to find it later. Like,
Yes. I wanted to make sure I could get there before we moved off the topic. Chris, what do you got for us?
So, for those that do follow certain things, so as I mentioned, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, and the last few weeks there has been a big influx of players. In fact, they have fully occupied their current servers and are working on patches to make sure they can optimize and allow players to play. A lot of that is due to a lawsuit recently being filed by the state of California against Activision Blizzard regarding possible harassment policies and kind of work conditions relating to harassment or a frat like culture. And a lot of employees have recently come out talking about this too, kind of lending support for those employees that have been essentially wronged. And then people are also hosting, for those who are still playing WoW, have been hosting in-game sit-ins to protest kind of the things that are happening. It is no secret that I'm a big fan of Blizzard games, but yeah, out of support of what's going on, yeah, I'm definitely transitioning to playing more Final Fantasy 14 and will not be playing Diablo anytime soon. But also not, and then to kind of pour gas on the fire, kind of an exec from Activision came out with a statement saying that it's a great place to work and that these are unfounded, while an exec from Blizzard came out kind of contradicting that. So there's been a lot of probably internal turmoil regarding this. So, kind of crazy. I blame Activision. They're too big.
I was listening to something, and it was Checkpoint, which is a Canadian like geek culture thing, and from Loading Ready Run. And so they were talking about it, and they said, and one of the things that they pointed out was every time in the document that it's something negative, like the filings or their official statements, every time it was something bad, they called themselves Blizzard, or they called themselves Activision. But every time it was like, they're like, but we do good things here at Blizzard. And then it's like, no, bad things are at Activision. And I was like,
Interesting.
Which we should say Blizzard itself does not have has a very long history. Obviously, they launched in the 90s. They've been around for a long time, and they don't really have a long history of what they're being accused of currently, or at least, early people, a part of the company, would say that. And so, like, with their acquisition by Activision, may have lended to that, or ultimately, they can just be as responsible. But
or it was there the whole time, and
yeah,
no
exactly.
one spoke up, and
It's true.
they didn't. It just didn't come out during the
in the things they do
Me Too
mention.
things.
They do talk about their 20% female employee rate. I'm like, it's 1/5 is not something to be proud of.
No.
It's like, I'm sorry, that's not enough, especially considering that in modern times, in terms of active gamers and players, females make up at least 40% of gamers. So
Can vouch.
you got
Am one.
you got work to do, and we have 50%. We got 50% on the podcast, so killing it. But yeah, it's something worth talking about and paying attention to. And it's disheartening because, yeah, I am just a big fan of the Blizzard games for the most part. But, and also I believe one of the presenters from like 2010, like Blizzard announcers, like from E3 or something, came out and apologized for some comments he made during one of the presentations back in 2010 because they're a little sexist. But at least some people in the company are growing as human beings then. But on a positive note, so when we went to PAX West back in 2019, we saw, or there was a device called the Playdate, which was a unique handheld with a crank on it. And we have officially will go on pre-sale in 3 days as of recording this, so on the 29th of July, which is super cool. This comes shortly after the announcement of the Steam, make sure I get this right, the Steam Deck.
Yes. And also on the heels of the Stream Deck, which were announced on the same day.
Right.
Or the newer Stream Deck. So,
But I'm
good job,
I'm
Steam and Elgato.
mentioning Steam specifically because that is the handheld console.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. But the Playdate's kind of like this very unique device. With it's gonna have preloaded games, but it's just a unique playstyle with the crank being utilized in actual gameplay. And I'm like, it didn't look crazy impressive, but it was a lot of fun to play when we were at PAX. A little bit of
I
time
must have
had
not
with
been
it.
with you because I do not recall this at all.
It had actually a pretty decent sized booth. Is like on the top floor.
Interesting. I had not heard about this.
Yeah, it's like a little yellow thing, has a crank. I was confused at first. I thought, like, is this just a hand powered like little handheld with a crank to charge it? But it's just a unique kind of thing because it's not going to be obviously graphically intensive. It's not going to be like crazy gameplay, but being as unique as it is, I think it's enjoyable, and is probably like going to be great for kids like me.
All fishing games.
Which, like, when I played, there was no fishing game, I don't think, that I saw on it at the time. But yeah, it goes on and should launch later this year. So I'm really excited about that.
So as said at the top of the show, today is our 1 year Twitch-aversary. Also, as part of that, the official 1 year of Shanine and Emma being part of First Geek 411. Of course, y'all were on a little bit before. But
As guests, though.
yes. And
You don't get that title anymore.
and so kind of with that, I wanted us to take some time to reflect upon our 1 year and kind of just talk about things that are coming. Our top three will tie into this as well. And so, so for us, what have been some of your favorite moments of doing Twitch and doing podcast?
I think, I mean, for me, something that's been fun is like alongside just getting to interact in the comments, like having the comments and contributing to that, like getting to have like a weekly like game stream time has been fun, even though I've been sucking at getting to that because of life. But like that's been fun to just like play through a game with the audience or whatever, just on a weekly basis.
I've loved getting to have super awesome guests on, like Evan and Rachel and Tracy and Anna and Geek at Arms and just all the people. It's been so fun getting to talk to people like face to face that I never really thought I'd get to talk to.
One day it won't be in quotes.
Yeah.
My favorite thing over the last year having you guys on is just having like the whole reason why we love it is you guys just bring a whole extra like depth to our conversations. And also like Shanine does book club, which is one less thing I have to worry about.
So I'll say for me, this will kind of tie in with one of the questions from later on as well. But I think that we've had a really good shift in terms of having the shows be like more and more conversational. Like I think that that's been something that we've all pushed for over this year. And I think that that's something that has like been a really good moment for me. I've talked about before that, like, I mean, obviously this year sucked. But like,
Yay, COVID.
yeah, but like one of the things that was a very big help for me was like having the times to just get together and talk with friends. And so I think that that's one of the things that like has really helped me.
It's almost like you're an extrovert or something.
Yeah, it's almost, yeah, who would have guessed? Like the extrovert wanted to talk with people. Wow. So
Well,
original, Cameron. Great thought.
Good job.
It's been even nice for me as an introvert to have that time set aside every week of just like, sure, we can't go out and like get dinner with friends or anything, but like I still got this random thing on Monday night where I get to talk with people over Zoom about random things we all like.
So Shanine had mentioned some of our guests. Are there any specific moments that stand out, whether from times where guests were on or just in general? What are some of the moments that stand out from this past year?
I think starting D&D, like that campaign, just starting at the first like initial session 0, just because it was so exciting to get into that and like have something like that I wanted to do for a while, and then have it be with this group of friends that is already established. So
And that is why Fernan will live.
yay!
Everyone else will die, but Fernan will live.
One survivor.
Fernan and Quill, the big bad evil guys the whole time. I'll say for me, one show that specifically stands out was our Easter show, which was like just Shanine and I, and kind of just talking about like faith this year. Like that was like as a like that specific conversation really stood out to me, and is one that like I feel like I reference a lot. Maybe because it was like one of those times where like that was the first time I talked about it like out loud, that kind of thing. And so that's one of those that kind of stands out. And then I think in general, just like book club, I feel like book club was this year's spoiler casts. Or of course we just did our Black Widow spoiler cast that people should go check out. But like, I feel like book club has kind of like very much captured that same vibe. Whether or not we like all agree on a book or all disagree on a book or whatever, I kind of just feel like it falls into some of the reasons I love spoiler casts are some of the reasons that I really look forward to book club.
Yeah,
except for the Treasure Island one.
Book club really
Yeah.
did take that place because we went from nothing but like movies coming out and us trying to get out to see them so we can do a spoiler cast to obviously last year we had nothing, so books were a perfect replacement.
When we were packing me up on Saturday, I had the Treasure Island book with like my 3 sticky notes in it sitting in a box, and I like pulled it out and stuck it in my Goodwill pile because I was like, I'm like never gonna read this again. It was a sucky book. And my mom just looks at me and goes, "That's not going to Goodwill. I'm going to put that in my basement for the grandchildren." And I went, "I'm not going to read that to my grandchildren. They're going to watch Muppet Treasure Island instead." Like, we're just not going to read the book at all, straight up. Been there, done that.
I think the Not All Who Wander Spiritually Are Lost book club in particular stands out to me. Like that was just such a great conversation. Yeah, I just love talking about all our different stories. And I guess also being named the Spanish Inquisition.
No one expects it.
The one time ever in her life Shanine's made a "that's what she said" joke.
Not the only time.
And no one saw it coming. So for Emma and Shanine, with this being y'all's first year, what has either been something that surprised you about doing the podcast or something that you expected that like wasn't the case?
I mean, I don't think I had any particular expectations going into it, just because I'd been on a couple of times before. I think, I mean, Shanine surprised me in some ways because we'd never met before. So I was like, I don't know who this random person is. Like,
Nor did I.
I've never heard Cameron or Chris talk about her before. But like, apparently she writes things. Like, that's cool. So like, just like getting to know Shanine more has been fun for me because like, obviously I've conversed with Chris and Cameron before. So like, yeah.
Best Doctor Who / Neil Gaiman buddies.
Yay!
I think something that's surprised me is just that like I actually can stream video games and it's not terrible.
And
I don't
host
know.
episodes?
I don't know. The streaming video games just seems scarier.
Because you're alone.
Yep.
No one's there to
Like I
cover
have
for
to
you.
talk to myself.
Yeah.
I usually only talk to myself when other people are not listening.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense.
You could always bring people on with you, like with voice chat. Like if you really like are feeling that, like always just open up voice chat, and that way you actually have sound and actually have a conversation instead of like trying to read chat. But yeah, you've been killing it. Still remember how nervous you were when we volunteered you to host book club.
Yeah, I still get freaked out at the beginning of every episode. But
You do great.
it just takes me a second.
It's
I'm like,
just-
wait, I've done this before.
It's just preparation, that's all.
And then for Chris and I, as the original members, what's something that you think that, what do you think of this year when it comes to like our content compared to what we've been up to in the past?
I mean, in general, like we've grown year after year, like in terms of like learning, figuring out what we're doing. And so, I mean, this is a very comfortable spot, but I'm also ready for 3.0. Or is this 3.0? Is it going to be 4.0? This is 3.0. We're going to do I'm ready for 4.0.
Yeah, so I like for me, as I said earlier, I think one of the good things, kind of that we've seen over the time that we've run the podcast is that we've transitioned more and more to just like intentionally having more open-ended conversations. I think that that's something that like when we first started, and because it's kind of how Chris and my friendship is, it's just kind of like that. Hey, did you see this thing? Yes, that was cool. Hey, did you see this thing? Yes, that was cool. Because we are, as Chris mentioned earlier, like same page on a lot of things, which is part of why, yeah, which is like part of why we wanted to do the podcast, and then also part of why we wanted to be
Y'all
bringing
agreed
in
too
other people.
much.
Yeah. And
hence the reason I stated I don't like Clara very much.
And so, yeah, so I think that's been really good. And then I think in a lot of ways, things like D&D, things like book club, even the regular streams have been kind of a part of where I've been wanting us to go, even for well before we were talking about actively doing Twitch. And then kind of with all of that, I think one of the best things that we've done kind of coincidentally or well intentionally, but tying in with starting, so like I feel like we've been a lot better at talking with our community this year. And so I feel like that's something that I mean, I definitely want to see us continue to do and continue to reach out more and more. I kind of feel like even within like the Christian geeky sphere, it's very easy to segregate into like here's the Christian geeky podcast, here's the Christian geeky Twitch streamers and things like that. And just kind of continue to bridge those and have different guests on, have different and guest with other people, that kind of thing. So, Shanine, we got some listener questions. What do you got for us?
Okay. The first two are from Carolyn, aka my mom.
Hi, Mom.
Is
Hi,
she?
Mom.
Would she be disappointed if I were to burp right now? That's the real question.
Probably.
Oh man, I'm not going to. I don't think I've ever actually. I'm really pretty sure it wasn't me on that episode, but it's possible.
I mean, to be fair, I did burp before we started.
Is Emma way back then too? No, I'm just
It echoed through time and space.
I was just secretly in the background, and
makes sense for the Doctor Who fan.
yeah, I found my little blue box
It's
that
a
I got
premise.
in it.
Okay. The first one is, how did you all connect to do the podcast?
I mean, I think Shanine's really the odd one out
True.
when it comes to this. I mean, obviously, Cameron and I, college, and this was really an excuse for us to talk every week and keep in touch because he's on the East Coast, I was in Montana, and this was really just born after like finally flying out there to see him and going to a day at PAX East, like 2015 or whatever it was.
Yep.
And then obviously I knew Emma through Young Life here locally. And she was the only kind of non-basic leader with a diverse.
Ah, shucks. But I know exactly what you mean by that.
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
I get you. Same wavelength.
That was actually like Geek and had like a very broad range of interests that we would talk about, and she just seemed like such a great fit for what we were doing, and comes from a different kind of faith background, so was definitely going to diversify her voice. And so that's that. And then Shanine is just kind of a random internet connection.
Yes, I was on the internet.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
And so,
Shanine reached out to us to see if we wanted to write a blog post, right? Is that?
Yeah, and so to be fair, I'd followed like Shanine for quite a while, and it's one of those where like I'm not like an avid blog reader, so like I would come in and out and read like as you would share stuff, and so like Shanine had been kind of on my short list of guests for quite a while, and then you had reached out to us about doing the blog post, and then kind of through all of that. Eventually we
Only
got
took
you
me
on,
14 months
and, yeah,
to write that too. No, I'm just
and so and you can also see in that time frame how quick we are at getting guests on the show, considering before you had reached out to us you were on my short list, and it took 14 months for us, like for me to actually reach out and get you on. But and so kind of through all of that, I had figured for a while that Shanine would be a good fit just based on the content that you wrote. You're obviously, as seen from our examples of moments that stood out, a bit more thoughtful than the rest of us, which I think is a very good characteristic, and I think is a good thing to bring to the cast. And and so that's kind of how we all met up.
And it still blows me away. I don't actually know Shanine in person. It's like there's a major disconnect in my brain.
Yeah.
Like when I think about Shanine, I'm like, yeah, I know. No, we don't know each other in person.
And even similarly, like I felt like I knew Emma from her guesting on the cast so many times, but we hadn't met until
It was a
like
good,
last year.
3 or 4 times
Yeah.
before this time last year.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because we came out, I guess it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
was because it was Deanna and my anniversary. We came out to Colorado just to get out and to see my family that was there, and then saw you while we were there. And but like even
That's
then, I
right.
felt like I had known you, but it was like because it
Which
was again
is-
from you guessing, but
Yeah, also crazy because like I keep forgetting that Emma wasn't with us at PAX
Mm-mm.
that year because we went that you were going to, but just
I think something happened. I don't remember.
lots of things happened.
Lots of things
Lots of
happened.
things. It's never just one. But like, yeah, my disconnect too is like, yeah, I know you guys have met in person. But I was like, I wasn't there for that, which is even weirder to me.
Yeah.
Okay, second question from my mom. Are you nervous when you go live?
I mean, I'm not personally, because even though I'm an introvert, like I grew up a choir / band kid. So like concerts, it feels kind of like a concert to me. So I'm like, eh. But also I grew up in a household where there was lots of random people coming and going. So like I'm just used to like pretending to be an extrovert or whatever. So like not really for me personally. Also, it's just fun conversation, so I look forward to it every week.
And no, can't say I ever have. Mostly because like I'm not thinking about the stream so much unless there's technical issues, in which case then I have to think about it. But and so I don't really get nervous because like as I mentioned when Cameron and I started this, it was just really us talking to each other, and so that just became we're just doing that live now.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I really like even when we did our stuff, really like it wasn't really a change in my workflow in terms of podcasts because we kind of just went straight through anyway, and that's what we do now, just live.
I'll say I definitely get more nervous when it's just me. And so like even the times where Chris isn't here, so I'm like running the technical side also. I tend to not be as nervous there as much as I'm like antsy and just want it to work. And so Emma and Shanine very much get the like, the cropping's off or whatever.
Yeah.
As I like try to get all like everything to fit and then realize that my monitors are different resolutions. And so that messes everything up because I had us on the wrong screen. So I get more just antsy trying to get that side going. But yeah, I don't necessarily think I ever get nervous. I just am ready. It's one of those where like sometimes we have like great pre-show conversation and I'm like, oh man, this would have made great content. Then other times I feel like we're just in the mood of like, let's get started and talk about stuff. And so, and that's kind of where I'm at most times. It's like, I'm just ready to go.
I look forward to one day, hopefully sooner rather than later, like doing an episode where we're all in the same room together.
Which is
Like,
going to be
not over
surprisingly more technical difficulties than this, which
Oh,
is what's going
yeah.
to be super weird.
Oh yeah, but still, I look forward to it.
But I have a plan, so we'll be fine.
I think I was nervous like right when we started live streaming, and now for like regular podcast nights anyways, I'm not nervous anymore. I'm still nervous for book club because I'm in charge and it stresses me out a little. And I'm nervous when I'm streaming because I'm all by myself. But getting better.
Yeah, I definitely
you-
understand the by yourself one. Like a little more. I'm like, it's like, is this going to even be remotely entertaining? I don't get nervous about it, but I'm like, this is probably lame. Just, it's like, watch me go mine this stuff in this game for.
Or watch the same mission for the 50th time because it always comes up in the
When I
in
do
your
my dailies in Final Fantasy
Yes.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or me going, wait, I don't have any copper. I frequently have to go mine things, but
Okay, and now from Ryan, my cousin.
Hi, cousin.
hi, hello.
Sup, cuz?
My cousin. Okay, we might have to get creative in the way that we answered this one, because I don't think he knew that
We've
we
never
didn't all
gotten
live in the same place.
That would make things a lot easier. Just saying.
Yeah. So, but his question is, does the group have a preferred board game you like to play when you get together? And have you found creative ways to play said game during this fun time?
I mean, I think by like process of elimination, it has to be D&D.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
There it is. Pretty much any Wizards of the Coast product, because Cameron and I, when we get together in person, we play Commander and Magic the Gathering. But yeah, the only like tabletop thing we've done together is D&D, so that's that. And also, Cameron and I at conventions would play like the modules occasionally. Pathfinder, we actually didn't do any D&D stuff, but
I mean, I just from a personal standpoint, I don't really play RPG tabletop games. I'm a pretty basic board game person. So like things like Rummy Cube or Quirkle or like the games that most people have played at least once in their lives.
those types of games I call cabin games.
Yeah. Like you can pull it out and at least 2/3 of the group has gone, oh, I've played that, and it can be whatever crowd. Just because it's like if a game takes more than like 10 minutes to learn, I'm just like, not really interested. But I've had a couple of games prove me wrong in that realm and have just been like really fun games. But
I guess the other option is like whatever game Cameron finally got fulfilled from his crowdfunding. Whatever game
Frosthaven,
finally showed up.
I still believe Frosthaven sometime.
One day.
So when we do have our magical First Geek 411 cabin week meetup, what will our board game itinerary be?
Again, whatever game Cameron finally got filled,
Yeah.
most recently got filled through crowdfunding, he'll probably bring that with him.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I feel like y'all would really like Seventh Continent, which is like a like kind of narrative, like story building. Like all the main characters are like famous people that like went missing or something like that. So like Amelia Earhart is one of the characters and stuff like that. And you are like all on this island and exploring the what all's going on, and it's kind of spoopy and stuff like that.
As it turns
Wait,
out, it's
what?
all just connected to Loki.
Yeah.
what is this called?
Seventh Continent.
Okay. My now old roommates have this game called Forbidden Island. And then there's Forbidden
Desert and Forbidden
Desert.
Sky.
and Forbidden Sky, which are all connected and a very similar concept from what I understand of it. But they are explaining it to me, and it sounds kind of like that. So
I'll post about it in the podcast. It's a ton of fun. I actually have a second copy of it because they messed up their print run
Oh.
for the Kickstarter, and so they just gave everyone fixed cards. So I just have like a second batch of it.
So I think whatever game we end up playing, or games we end up playing, will depend when, where, and a few other things. Because
I still want those burgers, Janine.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because I think, yeah, if we are near someplace, maybe we'll just go and like have a local game shop pick out some games for us, which I'm very pro doing, or everyone just bring a game. Or if it's like after a convention, maybe it'll be something someone picked up at a convention.
Yeah.
All that seems reasonable. It depends on how much suitcase room I have, how
Right.
much games I can bring.
Buy a suitcase there for bringing back all the stuff you bought.
Yep. Yeah, that's why you double
Otherwise, like
suitcase.
if we are just doing like cabin game night, then we'll probably keep it basic. Play Catan, play whatever those easy
Yeah.
Ticket to Ride, play the basics.
And then for like the second part of Ryan's question, creative ways to play said game. I feel like as much as I love board games, the inverse is how much I dislike playing board games online.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those when it comes to like specifically playing games, like I'll happily get on, like
I
get
don't
on
care
and
how
play
much
a game
faster
with
it is
someone.
set up.
Yeah. If they or somebody else organizes it, I would happily do it. But like when it comes to like the times where we're doing like community game nights, like the last thing that I want to do is like boot up a board game and like have to fight the interface.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like that's like my thing of like if we're gonna do that, I'd rather just do Jackbox or Among Us or something else like that.
Specifically, do not translate well to digital media / the internet. It just doesn't work very well.
Yeah. Like we had a game I played with my board game group. We played Secret Hitler, and like it took us like 4 rounds to figure out the interface so that people were not like accidentally like revealing who they were and what their role was and stuff like that. And maybe that was just us, and normal people wouldn't have that much trouble.
I'm assuming most people are going to have that same trouble.
But yeah, it was just one of those that was a little too much work, too much squeeze. Is that the saying? Too much juice or not enough juice for the squeeze? Something like that. I don't know.
I have no clue what saying you're
I
trying.
I feel like this has got to be a thing.
It makes sense, but also I've never heard that before.
Exactly.
Neither have I.
Maybe it's a southern thing.
I feel like this is is the juice worth the squeeze? That's the saying. And considering the top result is the juice ain't worth the squeeze, I'm thinking this might be a southern thing.
There it is.
Just maybe.
And so, yeah. So those are our listener questions. For the rest of our listeners, always hit us up if you got anything. We gladly bring things into the show. For announcements, we have some streams going on this week. What all do we have?
I finished chapter 1 of King's Quest last Tuesday, so tomorrow I'll be starting Concrete Genie.
Ooh.
That'll be fun. I've started playing that on my own.
I have no clue what it's gonna be like, and I'm excited.
It's a fun artsy-fartsy game.
Mhm.
I'm
I think
enjoying
it'll
it.
be good.
Yeah.
It
As
looks
the
cute.
artsy kid in my family, I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it.
Janine, yeah.
It's on my list of games I still need to go back and finish to get the platinum. But, you know, eventually I'll get there.
It's
like-
it's one of those games that's geared a little bit more towards kids, but is still enjoyable to play like as an adult. Like it's
That's
still very
good.
much entertaining. Like
I should be able to handle it then.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
have to be you don't have to be good at art, which is what worked well
No.
for me
yeah,
because I am not. So
it's like oh jeez, I think it was like Pixel Kids or something. There was this program that I remember vividly from growing up, where like it was like an art program, but it had all those fun like paintbrush patterns. So like you didn't actually have to draw the thing yourself. You just had like basically the same concept as Concrete Genie, where like you could pick a paintbrush that was like a vine, and then you could just cover the entire page with vines without having to draw them. Yeah. I'm gonna look it up now.
and Chris, I think you said you weren't going to be streaming this week.
I will not be streaming this. Well, no. More than likely, I will not be streaming this Wednesday. May change depending on other things happening in town, but I may also be trying to figure out a different day to stream as a result. So, but we'll figure it out one day.
Monday. Monday, right after the podcast.
Or before. If I have enough PTO, maybe I'll just start working 4-day weeks.
That's the dream.
Stream Mondays all day.
Emma, are you planning the stream this week?
Yes, sorry. I had a very important question
Yeah.
to respond to. Yes, I am planning on streaming this week. Pre thing that we will announce / whatever. We have book club on Thursday. I plan to stream at some point that day before that. So yes,
And
that is the
then-
plan. What? I don't know. But I have not done any prep in Subnautica, and I don't know if I'll have time to, but
Also, Concrete Genie.
yeah.
Everyone streaming Concrete
Yeah,
Genie.
it's all Concrete Genie all
Yeah.
week. And then Thursday, 6:45 Mountain Time, we'll be right back here talking They Called Us Enemy for our July book club. And then maybe third time's the charm, we'll have an August book club. We will see.
Oh, we're still deciding if that book's available. Is that what's
Yeah, we
going
still need to
Yeah.
find out if we can actually get the book that we've tried to get for the past 2 months.
Mine is sitting on my bookshelf, so you guys
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Says
So
the one
weird.
person not in the United States.
yeah.
Hey, if the
Haven't
border
even
opens up in
read it
time, I'll
yet.
just go up and buy one. I'm just... But probably wouldn't be open in time.
And then for me, I should be streaming Sunday. Not 100% sure if I'm gonna be doing more Phantom Brigade, more Pokemon Unite, or if I'll do kind of like a hybrid like I did this past week. Might just depend on what other people are up to. And so we will see. It also might depend on like how like burned out I am on Pokemon Unite, because I might just be done playing with it, and you never know.
How hard are you hitting that game, Cameron?
Yes, I've spent 0 monies, so
Good.
that's where I'm at right now. And so, yeah. And so for our top 3 list of the week, kind of tying in with our Twitch-aversary, we're going to be talking about what are some of our wildest dreams for stuff that we would like to do over maybe the next year, something in general. The first thing I said as I wrote mine down is that most of them are extremely doable. And so, like, apparently my dreams aren't very wild, but
I mean,
going,
we don't really have big dreams for this. This is a very casual thing we do.
and so I'm going to go first because I feel like it. And so my first one is in-person content. Obviously, that's not something that we can easily do, considering none of us are remotely close to each other.
And I will
But-
be getting
yeah.
even further away from Cameron here in the next
Yes.
couple of.
Actually, I feel like you're getting closer.
No,
Going to LA?
I am going from Colorado to California.
Yeah, but you're
And
going
Cameron
from
is down in-
Colorado to California.
To the map.
LA's pretty close to Texas.
So where I am right now, Texas is only an 8-hour drive, but it is from here a 20-hour drive to LA.
But it's a triangle.
Yes. So, fun fact, it is 21 hours from Dallas to LA
Oh,
compared to about 12 hours to Denver. So,
There you go. I will be
Um,
getting even further away.
yeah. And I feel like Emma went from being like the halfway point between Chris and I to now just way off to the.
well, we always knew Denver was the halfway point between
Yeah.
you and I because we've done that drive.
West Coast, Best Coast.
But yeah, so hopefully, whether it's a convention, whether it's whatever, cabin meetup, hangout,
But that can't be that expensive of a flight, right?
go to the middle of nowhere in Montana and hang out or something. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some in-person content in this next year as things hopefully get better. So, Chris, what do you got?
I mean, kind of along the same lines. I was gonna say meet Shanine. But I don't know. Like, I want to do other weird things, which I will be experimenting with in the coming months. Kind of transitioning to kind of more formal YouTube content. It's kind of a dream, but be something I'd look forward to.
Bum bum bum. Shanine, what do you got?
Okay, my first one is gonna be wild. My dream guest of Neil Gaiman.
Oh man,
So that is big. Okay.
Yeah.
that is
That
big,
is big.
big and bold.
You said wild though, so
I did say
went
wild.
for it.
I did say. Okay, first question. What do you ask Neil Gaiman?
I don't know. Probably I panic and can't say anything is what actually happens. That or I just like go off in like a verbal
Word vomit.
Yeah, of embarrassment. It's a word vomit of embarrassment.
Jenna Coleman got me not being able to say anything, and Peter Capaldi got all of my words. So
So 50
it's gonna be
50.
one of those
Peter
two things.
Capaldi also got all of my words too, so we're in the same boat there.
Peter Capaldi, I was living with regret from not having told Jenna Coleman everything. So Peter Capaldi kind of got double.
I mean, he got my whole story of how I got stuck in a snowstorm and missed my photo op with him. And so he like added snow to my picture with him that I then got later on. So I was just like, I got stuck in a snowstorm and I was so sad. And then my friend got me another photo op with you. And like, it was like a real blessing and all this stuff. But he was just like, well, I'm glad you're here. And I was like, I have totally embarrassed myself now.
Emma, what is your number one?
Going kind of also bold for whatever reason, because I put this down. 1,000 Twitch new buddies.
Twitch buddies.
Twitch buddies.
So are you thinking just followers or are you going subs?
Either or.
Because one's a lot easier to get than the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say we can buy one of them.
Fortunately, we haven't seen. I mean, can we still? I mean, we haven't had that ad in a while, or today.
I mean, I
Today, at
blocked
least.
them last week.
For like what, the third time in a row
Yeah.
from a different account.
They just keep coming. Once they start
Yeah,
coming, they won't stop
but-
coming.
They got to be real buddies, though. They can't be bot buddies. They have to be real buddies.
The Mitchells versus the Machines will remember this.
Yes.
So my next one, I'll go kind of off of what Shanine said. Celebrity guests. And I'll use the term celebrity pretty loosely. And so I know I've said before, one of my bucket lists is to guest on That Sounds Fun with Annie F. Downs. And then in terms of other people, a lot of the Kind of Funny crew, I love to have Blessing on specifically. He's a great guy. Or Andrea Renee from What's Good Games. And so, yeah, I'm kind of taking the looser definition of celebrity. But then, I mean,
like
obviously
celebrity to us.
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People that I look up to. And then, and obviously, like far out craziness would be someone like Mark Hamill or something. But gotta believe. Chris,
Oh.
what you got?
Me next. What I would, granted, in the next year, not entirely likely, but I would love to organize like a larger get together with all of our other podcast friends.
Mhm.
Like almost like a convention, but not.
We don't
And-
want Dash
and
Con
open to any
repeated.
and any listeners. Kind of just a fun meet and greet, get together, meet our community in person kind of situation. With games and whatever else we want to do.
Yeah. I'd actually been talking to people about doing a meetup for PAX West, but
Geek at Arms keeps trying to convince people
Mhm.
to do another con as well. I can't remember
yeah,
which one.
I've talked with them about PAX East before as well.
That's
and
not the
so-
one either.
Oh,
Dragon Con.
No. Oh man, I can't remember what it is.
Where's it at?
This part of the states?
Gen Con.
I don't
What is
think it was
what
Gen
is
Con
this
either.
part? Because
Origin Con. No.
Great Lakes. Ooh, might have been that one. Is that in the Great Lakes-ish area?
I'm not sure where that one actually is. I know it
isn't
exists,
it in
but
isn't it in Indianapolis? Columbus.
That sounds right.
Origin Games Fair, right?
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, Columbus.
Sometimes when I'm thinking about other countries,
PAX Unplugged.
I finally
That's in
realize how
Philadelphia,
weird
right?
the American system / land setup is. Like, I find it very weird when I actually think about it. I don't know if that's just me, but there's
No,
my
we're
random thought
weird.
of the day.
It's weird.
Yeah, we're very weird.
It's also massive.
Yeah. I don't know whose turn it is. I just
It is Shanina's next.
yeah.
Okay. My next one is more community things. Like I've really loved our community, like movie nights. And I also have been thinking about more like interactive community games things. I think in the Geeky Christian Twitter Discord, Andrew Whiteside said that English Eerie would be fun to do as like a live stream audience participation type thing. And now I'm just I keep thinking about it, trying to figure out how to make that work because I think it would be fun.
We can do it. Just gonna set you in front of camera with a bunch of candles, your quill, and ink, and parchment.
Man, the lighting for that is gonna be horrible.
Not if you get enough candles.
Or I mean, like probably like an actual like kerosene lantern or something. You go that route too. You just need to see her face. It's a mood.
It's a mood.
Mood lighting.
We can supplement it with some other lanterns too, I guess. Maybe. And then I'll come haunt your house.
Great.
Thanks. I hate it. Emma, what is your next one?
My next one is similar to the minor theme from earlier regarding celebrities, except it's like half a step down of some kind of celebrity recognition would be nice. Like, even just a call out from some minor celebrity that says, hey, this is a cool podcast. That would be pretty dope. I don't care who. Just someone I'll look up to, or we look up to. Go on.
I'm sure we could pay Jesse Carey to do it.
Well, like of their own volition. That's where I'm going with this. Like,
Who needs that?
ain't doing no cameo stuff.
Then back from me, basically same thing Shanine just said. I would definitely like to see us do some more community game nights or multiplayer type stuff. Whether it's more along the lines of what we've done in the past or bringing in more kind of more out there type ideas. I would definitely like to see that maybe as a monthly kind of thing. But yeah, so that's one for me. What are we gonna do? Who knows? Probably will change last minute, but here we go. But yeah, so more game, actual like all of us playing, yeah, so like even necessarily even community, but even more just like us as the four of us playing games together, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Which is what I'm saying. Pokemon Unite.
I'm
We
ready.
got a team. It's gonna be hilarious.
Okay, Chris, last one for you.
It's already the last one.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a twofer. I want to be the voice that reads Shanine's first published book. You got a year. And I just want to be a cameo role in anything Emma does.
Great.
Well, we've already have a binding contract with Emma that we have to appear in the Candyman.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
Or at
but
least
you're going to
Cameron
have like a
does.
major role, Cameron. I just want to be a cameo.
Okay, I accept this as our personalities as well.
Yes.
And so,
I'm gonna make it happen.
It's like Cameron could have the major role. I just want to like be that guy in the background that's like in like every other shot or something. It's
That
like, wait,
random guy
wait.
in a like a pub just sitting in the back who changes what they're doing every time they're on screen.
Mhm.
Like one shot you're reading a book, another you're throwing darts or whatever.
It has to be
But,
like
more
the
extreme than that.
the title on the book has to be like massive and a book that you wouldn't read. Like,
and upside down.
yeah, and like
Yeah. Super comical.
Yes.
it's like the thing that changes in the back is like what?
Spot the difference.
Yes, exactly.
Corporate needs you to identify the difference in these two pictures.
They're exactly the same.
I'm so proud of you, Emma.
I mean, it's a common meme, even though I hate the show.
Janine, what do you got?
Okay. It's been said before, but I'm gonna say it again anyway. Just getting to meet in person. That is my dream.
That is the dream. Play D&D all around the table.
All around me are familiar faces.
Not that sad, but yes.
Yeah, but in a major key.
Just throwing it out there. The more we play D&D in person, the less likely I will kill the characters because doing it digitally means you can't hurt me physically.
Can't leap across the
You
table.
can't leap across the table.
And this is the risk because you kill Shakar in person, and I might just smash things because I got to get in character.
Oh, smash.
Yes. Emma, what do you got?
I put generic brand sponsorship, which is very boring because I literally could not think of anything exciting.
It's a good one.
And I knew like
Mhm.
things like meeting in person and all that fun stuff would be taken. I think it would be kind of fun to do as a school project some kind of like something that involves the podcast in the next year. So that's maybe another wild wish dream.
This episode brought
My
to you by
mom-
Audible.
My mom is freaking out upstairs about the Olympics, so I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. Something exciting. I think it's the gymnastics right now, but yeah. Anyway, Cameron, you were gonna say something about Audible.
I was saying this episode was sponsored by Audible.
But it's not. So
It's not though.
It's
Well,
not.
So instead, people should go and buy the physical book They call this enemy, and join us this Thursday at book club. You can read it in time for book club. I'm just saying it's a very quick read.
A graphic novel, so very
yeah.
quick.
And even like as far as that goes, I was reading. I still have a little bit left to do, but I was reading and I was like, oh, I've knocked out 110 pages, like that kind of thing. Because as Chris said, it is a graphic novel, so you're going to zoom through it. So go ahead and get that, and then come join us Thursday night, and let us know if there's something that you would like to see us do in this next year. Hit us up with your wild ideas, and you can do that over on our social media as OneGeek411. And then you can also do that on our Discord server. You can shoot us an email, 1stgeek411@gmail.com. You can join us on Twitch Monday nights and this Thursday, and find the videos over on YouTube. And then you can also rate and subscribe wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. Then you can check out our website, onegeek411.com. And of course, find us on our personal social medias. I'm Humar Whittle.
I am not prepared with an I.
I'm the Hoot and Howl on Twitter and Hoot and Howl Tales, TALES, on Instagram.
And I'm not so foreign.
And it's been a great week.
Wash your hands.
Go outside.
No, don't. It's chewy.
Read a book.